Love, light, and blessings. Shamanic Awag Priestess here. And first of all, I want to say thank you so much for the love and support that I have been receiving now that I've changed back my direction of my channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the thoughts, love, intentions, and all that good stuff. And that you guys sent me when I was very transparent about my struggles and how the spirits have been helping me. I showed you a medical thing that I had on me, and you guys were like, oh my goodness, but look, this is why I wore this shirt. She is gone. I'm not being weirdos, like it's gone. I wanted to show you proof she is gone, so nobody be like, she's lying about her testimony. No, look, she is gone. Okay, the apparatus is not apparatusing. Okay, she has been removed. She is gone. The spirits said they're gonna heal me. They have healed me. Every day I'm recovering, so thank you for that, spirits. So I wanted to do that. Shout out to the spirits. Thank you, Oshun. Thank you, Santa Mata Uniadora. Thank you to all the spirits for spiriting, okay? So shout out to the spirits. Also wanted to say, if you want a one-on-one reading with me, shamanic@rockpieces.com. That link is available in every description box of my video. I do readings, specialized reading, regular traditional tarot readings, spell work, and things like that. If you're looking for someone to do spell casting for you, I do perform that as well. Also, I have memberships if you ever wanted to be part of an online coven, exclusive videos, daily messages, all those types of things at different levels. You can become a member. That's also available. You can click the join button and see what, part of the membership you want to be a part of. So now that we're out of the way of those things, okay, and bills can be paid, I want to talk today about the modern day Botanica. What are my true thoughts about that? So I grew up around the culture of Botanicas. Back in the days, Botanicas were all... Now, we did have scammers back in the day, so I'm not going to say that they were all wonderful people, because that's not realistic. But for the most part, you're always going to have scammers, right? You had people that were very knowledgeable. They were owned by the elders. And you would go to a Botanica, and, everybody in the neighborhood knew this person. And you can go there at your spiritual worst. And you would go there, and, they would take you to the back room. And, if you needed a ritual, they could perform that ritual on site. Whatever they needed to do, you can get your cards read. They could prepare baths for you. The baths will be actually baths they will prepare from scratch. They will actually make their own things. So a lot of things were handmade back in the days, from baths, candles, prayed over, I remember my mom used to buy like actual plants, the money plants. You can actually buy it at your Botanica. The herbs were fresher, and things were more cultural. It was more of a Caribbean flavor, because to be honest, Botanicas, and this is not a racist thing, I'm just speaking facts, okay? So your Botanicas, because it was mostly owned by Santeros, okay, or Haitian people, okay? So it was either like voodoo or Santeria owned shops, that kind of thing. And so, and then some of them were owned by Pirititas, things like that. So it was usually like a Cuban, Dominicano, Puerto Rican owner. Okay, other Latino cultures are getting into it, but let's give credit to where it's at, okay? It was the Boricuas, the Dominicanos, and los Cubanos that brought it to the United States of America. All right, so it was always, a Spanish-speaking person. Okay, they'll be dressed how they dress. They'll do the little consultas in the back, the consultations, whatever the case may be. You can get your candles blessed in the back. They'll prepare the statues for you on site. They'll actually, prepare the statue for you, do what they got to do. You could buy your statue prepared, all the things. If you were looking to get a mentor, like that shop person had, they will mentor you if that's something that called to you. That person that owned the shop will also be the one that, if you felt a call to be initiated, they would do that. They will charge you for it, yes. But the person that owned the shop, right, you can actually go to your local Botanica, and if you had a calling for it, you found your godparent. That person that owned the Botanica, they could be your madrino, padrino. You know what I'm saying? They would, take you under their wing for like a year. You would do you will receive your different santos, all this stuff, crown, whatever. They will have, the ceremonies in their basement. of that Botanica because they will own the building. And, things went on. They would do their thing. You receive your spirits and you will get initiated the proper way. Like you will be taught how to, serve your spirits. You can go to that local, person, that local, babalao, that's local santera, you know what I'm saying? And she would, they will give you a baño. Like, you need a bath for this, they'll give offerings to the spirits on your behalf. That elder was very knowledgeable, you will sit with them at the foot of them. You will learn things. They had a lot of herbalism knowledge. They will give you teas, prepare teas, baths, all these things, It was your one-stop shop, You would go to your local botanica, like everybody knew you. I remember like my mother knew her local, madrina, her madrina, she owned the shop, her padrino, he owned a shop. He owned the botanica, and he would perform services in the community. That's how I got into this life. Like they own the botanica. Like they're older now, they don't anymore, but that's the culture I grew up around. Like they owned the business. My mother was under their wing, like whenever they did, consulta, because your padrinos would visit people in the house, they would do misas, they would do misas in the house, they would perform services. It would be that kind of thing. It was an oral tradition. They would visit people in the house. The people were doing that type of work, and things like that. That's what it was. It was the elders were respected by the community. You know what I'm saying? And that type of thing. And the spiritualists were a community, like the spiritualists would pray for each other. They would have places, centros. It was like a center, and all the spiritualists would meet together and they would service the community. People would go there with spiritual conditions, and the spirits will manifest and, in this building, in this secret meeting center. And I remember, like, they'll be like, hey, somebody here's with this affliction, that affliction. And, they will lay hands on people. Think of like a church. Think of like a Baptist or Pentecostal church. How like the minister would be like, hey, somebody, and they'll do like the calling to the altar. It's very similar to that. And the spirits will manifest in those people. You see people speaking tongues and their bodies moving around because the spirits are in them. And it was very beautiful. We'll sing songs, and it was just a very beautiful thing. To witness. At the time I was scared, but then, now I know not to be scared. But now looking at it, it was a very beautiful thing because people will be healed from their spiritual, sometimes health afflictions in said, meetup, and that's the culture that I grew up around. The Botanica catered to the Afro-Caribbean culture, and anything that you needed, you can get, So, I would see people being healed and all those types of things. So, that's what it was. Like, your local botanica, your local centro, was a place where the community could come together. Now, did we always have rivalries and stuff? Yes, that was a thing. But it's not what I see now. It was a community. And that's why, like, the spiritual community was so much harder to attack back in the days. It was strong. And it was secret, right? There wasn't social media. It wasn't so open. It was like this secret underground thing. It was, I didn't understand it then. I thought my mom practiced like some form of Catholicism. And growing up, I was like, why was she so secretive about it? And sometimes, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I don't understand why the elders were so closed about it. But now that spirituality has become so mainstream, I recently just downloaded like TikTok and Instagram, which I deactivated it because it is a hot mess over there. And just even getting into the YouTube thing, I could see to a certain extent why the elders are hush-hush about certain things. Because with the younger generation, right, being more open to certain things, and the gentrification of the modern day botanica, you have people that own botanicas that say they're initiated to certain things, but seem not to have the same wisdom that the elders had. They can't answer questions. There's no more things of like house visits, which I've done. I still do. I don't own a botanica, but as a spiritualist, I still do. Like I have done in the past, especially prior to COVID. I've had people come see me, whatever. For health reasons, I've had to pull back from that. But before that, I was doing that. I've answered questions. I can answer questions. So nobody wants to have the knowledge or share the knowledge. Nobody wants to pray for other people. You have this weird, like I said, gentrification. You can't really, there is no money plants in a Botanica. They've been fulfilled with crystals, which has nothing to do with traditional ATRs or the Botanicas. You have people of other cultures owning Botanicas, okay? There's one big, I'm not going to mention the name, Botanica that was owned by a Wiccan at one point. Wiccans don't own Botanicas. Like, I'm not trying to come after the Wiccan community, but you ain't supposed to be owning Botanica. Botanicas are an Afro-Caribbean tradition. When other people from other cultures start owning things that are outside of their culture, they start to mess things up. This is why you're seeing things, because they're trying to cater to a culture that's not our culture. You're starting to see crystals and Buddha statues and Botanicas. That wasn't a thing back in the days, right? That's outside Afro-Caribbean culture. The modern day Botanica isn't what the Botanica was. Now you have spiritualists that only care about money. They're selling fake products. They're selling like candles that I could get better candles at a Dollar Tree. Like, you have candles that you buy at Botanicas at $10, $11 that I literally have tried to support my local Botanica, and then you're wondering why you can't afford your rent. But like, the people you're buying your candles from, why am I digging the wick out? Why am I digging the wick out, baby? Like, why am I digging the wick out your candle, boo-boo, when I could go to the Dollar Tree and buy a candle for $1.50 that has better quality than your $11 candle, boo? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, that's not good quality, honey. Like, why am I going to spend $11 on a candle when I could just go to my local Dollar Tree, honey? Like, when I could just go to Walmart, when I could just go to Target, like, make it make sense. Why should I support your local, metaphysical Botanica shop where you're like not selling authentic stuff? Like, what are we doing right now? You know what I'm saying? Then you have, spiritualists now that are literally sitting here and literally attacking other spiritualists. Like, you spend all your time on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. Oh, because, I had such and such spiritualist. I had such and such spiritual person. I had such a posting pictures of how, like, you supposedly hex this person, F this person, F that person. Why are they doing that? Because of gentrification, cultural appropriation. It's crazy to me, right? You are the same people that like, oh, I don't care about cultural appropriation. So you will sit here and not call out cultural appropriation, but you're the same people that are sitting here, because I look at who you're attacking. Some of you are colorists. Let's call it what it is. Some of you are colorists. You hate yourself because you rather call out, right, your own community, right? Your own community, because you act like there can only be one spiritualist, right? So you rather call out people of different skin color within your own community, right? So marginalized people hexing marginalized people, or who has the right to this spirituality versus the other, makes no sense to me, okay? Because in my personal opinion, okay, there's no difference between a brown person in the United States of America and a brown person in the Latino community. Okay, the only difference between our enslaved ancestors in the Caribbean and our enslaved ancestors in America was a boat ride, okay? Because there's Afro-Latinos and African-American, we're the same. Okay, and my channel's about uniting the diaspora. Let's stop fighting amongst each other, and let's start fighting against the colonizer. We need to start fighting against the colonizer, okay? What we need to do is stop hexing each other in the spiritual community, marginalized people, hexing each other, tearing each other down, and start arguing and fighting against the oppressor who wants to steal our spirituality. Stop being distracted by each other and start fighting against the colonizer. The people that are stealing our spirituality, reselling it, rebanding it, okay, and disrespecting our spirits, whitening up our statues, putting crystals in Oshun statue, misinforming our stuff, and then losing a generation, gentrifying our botanicas. That's why a lot of botanicas I don't support, because a lot of them are fake. You have people of other religions in a botanica. A botanica is an Afro-Caribbean traditional metaphysical shop. Don't get it twisted. We started that. And now we're allowing everybody into it because we're too busy hexing each other within our community. Open your eyes, spiritualists. Open your eyes. What are you doing right now? Those are my real thoughts about botanicas. Like the other day I had to go to one and it literally took me hours to find a decent botanica. That never used to be like that, especially in a brown community, in a predominantly Latino and black community. I gotta sit here and ride around for like 2 hours to find one botanica when there was like so many of them because of the people who own them. Like, what is this? Like, what's happening? And they're little now because you're trying to cater to an audience that's not the original audience. Like, why are you trying to rebrand our spirituality to cater to people that have never cared about our spirituality? Why are you trying to make things prettier, box it in a bow? No. My Orishas are always going to be Orishas. And if you cannot admit that the Orishas are African spirits and you're trying to make them look Eurocentric, let me tell you something. You are serving trickster spirits. Because if you cannot admit that our spirits come from Africa, if you cannot admit that they come from Africa, then you ain't serving real spirits, okay? Because Oshun Yemaya, okay? Oya, those are African spirits, honey. And they have African features, okay? It is what it is. And I said what I said. Those little white statues you buying with the straight hair, okay? That is not Oshun. That is not Yemaya. So you need to remove those false idols from your altar. That is not who they are. Stop whitewashing our spirituality, okay? Stop letting people in that don't have a real calling into our stuff. We as marginalized people have the right to gatekeep our spirituality. And if you are called into our spirituality, you need to give homage and respect to the people who paved the way through their ancestors, okay, who have bled and shed tears to keep these spiritual paths, okay? Not everybody can be invited to the barbecue, okay? Not everybody can be invited to the barbecue, okay? We need to have respect. People have the right to gatekeep. People have the right to keep secrets. This is why I don't be showing my altars. This is why I'm very, very, very picky about what I share. I do share more on the memberships, and I'm very picky about what I say because look at what they're doing to the modern day botanica. It is hard to find a traditional spiritualist. It is really hard to find a real botanica. And all you see on Instagram, all you see on YouTube is brown people sitting here fighting with each other, okay? I love my Black American brothers and sisters. I love my Latino brothers and sisters. I love all my marginalized people, and I love all my allies because I never said I don't like nobody that's not a marginalized person. What I'm saying is I am tired of people of the diaspora fighting amongst each other. We need to unite. At the end of the day, we are all people that have suffered throughout history, and we need to love one another, okay? We need to protect our spirituality and our spirits, okay? Because this is what the supremacists want us to do. They want to divide and conquer, okay? This is what racist people want to do. They want us to distract and fight amongst each other and hex each other because I'm telling you, wake up. They're going to, one day we will no longer be the face of our spirituality. The colonizer is going to steal it from us if we continue to fight amongst each other. They have done it in the hip hop community. They did it in the rock and roll community. We don't even have representation in rock and roll anymore. And rock and roll was made by African Americans. So we need to wake up. They will continue to steal our culture if we continue to be distracted fighting with each other. We have enough room for more than one spiritualist if you're really called to this path. Stop fighting amongst each other and start protecting our culture. That's what we need to do. Protect your culture. Much love and light and blessings. Much love, light, and blessings. Be careful the botanicas you visit. Be careful because there's a lot of scam artists. This is why I be buying my own stuff, making my own stuff most of the time. You will not be seeing me. If I shout out Botanica, it's because I believe in that Botanica. Like, I may buy products, and even when I'm like, yeah, I bought it from my local Botanica, but you don't even see me saying the names of it. If you figure out why I buy it, it's because I just bought it there, but I don't shout out nobody because I don't trust nobody, okay? I don't trust modern day spiritualists, okay? I don't trust them like that. They don't have your back. Like, a lot of them will sit here and smile in your face, and as a modern day spiritualist, they could stab you in the back tomorrow because they're so afraid. They act like there's not enough clients to go around. There's so much jealousy, that old-fashioned unity that we had back in the days of spiritualists, that barely exists. It is disgusting, the competition. You want to get into spirituality, know that it's cutthroat. It's nasty out here. It is what it is. There's little wolves in sheep's clothing out here just looking for everybody's downfall and laughing at people's downfall. It is very shameful, guys. It is very shameful. Like, you would literally have them go in that secret room and spit on your candles and hex your statues when you buy them. Like, I've had to teach people how to prepare their own statues, which is unheard of because of how the lack of trust you can have for these people. Like, make it make sense. Like, I've taught people how to prepare their own candles because of how lack of trust I have for these people. Like, it's crazy. Like, the modern day Botanica is a mess. Like, we need to clean it up in the spiritual community. Like, y'all sitting here sharing spell work with people. Like, you don't know who's watching that at the end of that YouTube screen. Like, you're prostituting your spirits, bro. Like, make it make sense. You're prostituting your spirits. Like, why are you doing that? Like, all right, we're done with this video. Much love, much light, much blessing. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Love you. And until the next video. Bye.